Hello and welcome to another edition of True Audio Files. My name is Jim Carter. Today I'm going to talk about some stuff that's said on hype stickers about mastering and cutting from analog, because I see a lot of issues with that on a lot of Facebook pages and forums and things like that. But first thing I want to do is kind of talk about some of the new stuff that just came out this week that I bought. We got the new 9LP Tom Petty, Wildflowers, and all the rest. And then you got Run the Jewels 4. This came out a little while ago digitally, but just came out on vinyl, I believe it was this week. And this just came out to independent record stores. It's the Super Deluxe Vinyl Edition, they call it. I believe the Deluxe Edition is a 7 LP set. I wanted to get the 9 LP set because there is basically the alternative Wildflowers that is the extra bonus, if you will, on the Super Deluxe compared to the standard Deluxe version. So I might do a review on that next week or within the coming weeks. Let me know, what you feel, and if you want me to do a review on that, and that might change my opinion on whether I do or not. So anyways, so what I wanted to talk about today primarily is the term, mastered from the original analog tape, or sometimes you'll even see cut from the original, or from the original analog tape. There's a very big difference between those, and it's kind of deceptive advertising, unfortunately, on the part of the labels, because mastered from the original analog tapes could mean that they digitally mastered it and then cut it onto vinyl. Now, it could also mean that they cut the vinyl from the original analog tapes, because some people will say that cutting is the same as mastering or remastering. It's a fine line, because yes, technically speaking it is, but it's not what most people think of as a remaster or a mastering of an album, even though technically, yes, it is. So basically, I just wanted to kind of give almost like a PSA, if you will. When you see remastered from the original analog tapes on a record hype sticker, or a mastered from the analog master tapes, or original analog master tapes, it does not always mean that they're going to be cutting it from analog. It means, in many cases, most likely, if they don't specify that it's been cut from the analog tapes, that they've basically digitized the original analog tapes and then remastered it and cut from those digital remasters. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It could be a good thing, especially if the original master tapes are not in great shape. It happens quite frequently, especially in masters that are old, 60s, 70s, maybe even 80s. They could have gotten damaged or have some sort of a wear or tear of some sort on them, and digitally mastering them can fix those issues and make them sound better than cutting right from the analog source. Now, there's always the debate of, well, cutting digital to vinyl is, terrible and it's not as good as analog. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you in the fact that I would prefer something that's straight analog in most cases. However, if it's a situation like I just mentioned, where the original analog tapes have some issues with them, like, chewed up section or something like that, if that is the case, I would much prefer them to digitize the tape and then do some fixing of those tapes to make them sound better. One other thing that probably is more apparent when you're listening to it in a digital realm is a process called the plangent process, which I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, but it's basically a process where they take the digitally transferred tape and make sure that it is accurately sped up, it has the accurate speed and wow and flutter and all that kind of stuff. Basically, I'm simplifying it, but is all maintained the same throughout the entire recording or tape. And I've heard before and afters of what happens when they use that plangent series, or plangent process, I'm sorry, and it is a big difference in digital. Now, I can't say I have actually heard a digitized version and a non-digitized version both cut to vinyl. So I can't speak to that. But I will tell you things like the Bruce Springsteen, all of his older albums from Born in the USA prior had the plangent process used on them before they cut the records. They also made them available in digital as well. I know the Doors collect all of the Doors albums, and I think most of the recent Grateful Dead releases have been using that process as well to make them sound as accurate as you can. So, but I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent. Basically, what it boils down to is don't assume that mastered from the original analog tapes means that you're going to get a full analog record. Because in most cases you aren't, unless they specifically say cut from the original analog master tapes. Then, yes, you are getting the original analog tapes. So that's it for today, for this week. Hopefully you liked the episode. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear your take on this and what you've experienced with that. And if this helped you in any way, I would love to know also. Please leave those comments below. If you liked what you saw here, please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my stuff. And if you want to see when my stuff actually gets released, the day of it getting it released, hit that alert bell so it'll tell you when my stuff gets released. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.